How's it going, everybody? Chris Cart's back through the mail. Monday, 6 returns for you today. Our first coming to us from Carroll Stream, Illinois. Not Ryan Sandberg. By the way, good luck on his fight against cancer. I was bummed to hear the news the other week about his diagnosis. And we've got Mr. Buzz Capra. Buzz Capra, 7-year career with the Mets and the Braves. Pitched really well until his shoulder pretty much gave out. Only 7 years. Led the league in ERA in 1974, as well as his only year as an All-Star before his shoulder basically gave up the ghost. He was never the same after his injury. Signing these cards very nicely. Nice to get these back from Mr. Buzz Capra, who spent some time coaching at a college after his playing career was done. Coached in the minor leagues for 16 years for many different teams as a pitching coach and a minor league roving instructor. And of course, unfortunately, that career ended when his arm gave out for the final time. Once again, had a second shoulder surgery and could no longer pitch batting practice. And then, of course, in those days, pitching batting practice in the minors was a necessity. So there you guys go. Buzz Capra, great signer. Awesome to get these cards back. They look great. Let's move on to return number 2. Next return from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And from the feel of it, got a few cards in here. Colin Smith is not going to be happy with me when he sees how many cards I sent off to Mr. Larry Boa. Larry Boa signed an index card. Now, if I send too many cards off to Larry, why do you also sign the index card? I was not requesting the index card to be signed. It was just in there for protection, of course, but nonetheless, he signed it nonetheless. Hey, Larry's got lots of sweet cards. He was an awesome player. 16 years in the bigs, 12 with the Phillies, 4 with the Chicago Cubs, as you see there. And, of course, his final year, an obligatory final year in the bigs with the Mets. The Mets got everyone's final terrible year. And there's a World Series card. 1980 World Series champion, of course. 5-time All-Star and 2-time Gold Glove Award winner. Sent him 6 cards. And I got them all signed. They look great. Larry Boa, 76 years young. Firecracker for the Phillies, of course, as a coach. Managed as well in the bigs. Always loved watching him against the Mets. Remember, he almost went and tackled Daniel Murphy one year. He was mad at Murphy for something. I forgot, but it was glorious. He was hot in the dugout, and it was a good time. So need more guys like Larry Boa in the bigs nowadays. They're out there. They're few and far between, though. Larry Boa, great signer. Sign these cards. There's his information. Awesome second return. Let's move on to return number 3. Texas for our third return of today's Through the Mail Monday. And once again, a grip of cards in here. I apologize in advance. And you've got Mr. Kirk Dressendorfer. Kirk Dressendorfer on an OPC card here. Beautifully signed. Kirk, first round draft pick by the Oakland Athletics back in 1990. He was the A's drafted 4 starting pitchers in that draft, named the 4 aces. Of course, him and Todd Van Poppel were the only ones to make it to the bigs. He was a legendary college player, went 45-8, and was inducted into the Collegiate Baseball Hall of Fame back in 2009. Signed these 6 cards for me very nicely. Had a lot of cool cards. Like I said, him and Van Poppel were the only ones that make it to the major leagues, and Dressendorfer only pitched in 6 games in 1990, and that was it. He did not appear in another major league season for any other major league team. Retired in 1997 after bouncing around the minors for a few years. Kirk Dressendorfer, awesome return from him. There are the cards, very nicely. Forgot that 6 games. He had a bunch of cards out there, and glad to get these signed. They look great. Let's move on to return number 4. North Texas, our next return here. As you see on the envelope here with the Santa stamp on it, we've got index cards returned, as well as looks like a business card of sorts in here. Looks like a charge or a fee list. $2 a card from Mr. Reggie Cleveland. Reggie Cleveland, I would be happy to sign, and he signed as well, $2 a card. I never mind paying $2 a card because you know for sure you're going to get your cards back signed. So that's always a guaranteed victory in the TTM world at a fairly low cost for Mr. Reggie Cleveland, who spent 13 years in the big leagues from Saskatchewan, Canada. Signed these cards beautifully, spent some time with the Cardinals, some time with the Red Sox, as well as the Brew Crew and the Texas Rangers. Went on to be a pitching coach in the Blue Jays organization in the 90s, and there you guys go. There's his fee list. And he did not sign 3 of the cards. I do believe I sent him the proper amount of money, but 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I mean, that's my go-to is a nice even bill to send, a $10 bill. And Well, whatever happened, I guess it's not a guarantee, but I got half of them signed very nicely by Mr. Reggie Cleveland. Awesome return from him. Let's move on to our next return. Kansas City, Missouri, our next return here. And we have Mr. Jim Eisenreich. Jim Eisenreich signed a 91 score. 91 score. There was like 12,000 cards in that set. 89 upper deck, signed beautifully there for the set. Nice. 15 years in the big. Spent some time with the Royals, the Phillies, the Twins, the Marlins, and the Dodgers. Of course, World Series championship material in 1997 with the Marlins. And thankfully, he ended up on the Dodgers. His last terrible year was with the Dodgers and not the Mets for once. Jim Eisenreich, Tourette syndrome, in case you were wondering. I called him Mr. Excitement when I was a kid because all of his baseball cards, he looked pretty bored, but I guess maybe there was a reason for that. He actually went on the voluntary retirement list between the years of 84 and 87 for treatment. So good on him for making a return to the bigs and having a pretty successful career. In fact, probably a 15, 16-year career, actually almost a 20-year career if you include those years he missed with Tourette's. So nice return from Mr. Jim Eisenreich. There is his information. Awesome return. Let's move on, guys, to our final return of the day. Return number 6. Phoenix, Arizona, our 6th and final return of this week's Through the Mail Monday. Thanks, guys, for watching. Make sure you hit that like button. And, of course, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. I do this every single Monday. And our final return is going to be a winner's card of Brett Butler. Brett Butler, a nice, long 17-year career with the Dodgers, Indians, Giants, Braves, Mets. Yes, he was a Met for a year, of course. Not his worst year, though. Actually did pretty good on the Mets. In fact, the Mets parlayed his short stint on the Mets, and they traded him, I think, to the Dodgers or the Giants for a couple of minor leaguers, so, of course, never made it to the big leagues. But nonetheless, I remember Brett Butler, very good leadoff hitter. Lots of sacrifice hits. I remember lots of bunts. If you like that kind of baseball, small ball, he was the king. Over 500 stolen bases, a career 290 hitter. Just a one-time All-Star in 1991. Sent him a lot of cards. He signed all of them. I'm sorry, Colin. I did it again. In fact, this week's returns, it's almost like I'm trolling Colin Smith. Yeah, I sent a lot of cards. I'm gonna reel it in, guys. I swear, I'm sorry. I know. Bad, Chris. Chris, you sent too many cards. I know I did. Oh my God, look at them all. I had to bust out the other mouse pad, the gigantic mouse pad that's actually so big I can't really use it because I can't fit it on the screen. There you guys go. Another Through the Mail Monday. Put it in the books. Thanks for watching, guys. Comment down below or yell at me down below. Let me know what you thought of this week's returns. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. In fact, I've got some questions going out. Some of my 2024 returns are trickling back in. I will be opening up all 2024 returns next week. Very excited to get them back, see who I got. I'm still working on January here. This is about the last of it. So check back next week. And I have been sending out a questionnaire to the players. So hopefully I got a few people. It feels thick. So I think my questionnaire has been returned in a few of these envelopes. So look forward to next week's envelopes openings. And hang out. Hit that subscribe button. Don't miss it. And I'll see you then. Thanks, guys. See ya.